各位记者朋友，大家下午好，欢迎出席外交部例行记者会，请大家提问。
谢谢发言人。总台央视记者提问。
CCTV, China announced that President Xi Jinping will pay state visit to Vietnam, Malaysia, and Cambodia. This is the first overseas trip by President Xi in this year. Could you share with us the schedule of the visit and China's expectations for this trip? Neighboring countries are China's priority in its diplomacy. China and Southeast Asian countries are good neighbors, good friends, and good partners with a shared future. The Central Conference on Work related to neighboring countries was successfully convened recently. The meeting made it very clear that China will continue to follow the principle of amity, sincerity, mutual benefit, and inclusiveness in its neighborhood diplomacy, engage in friendly cooperation, enhance mutual understanding and trust, and pursue development and revitalization with its neighbors. This upcoming visit marks the first visit by President Xi Jinping this year, which is of major significance to growing China's ties with Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, and ASEAN on the whole. It will also inject new impetus into the peace and development of the region and beyond. China and Vietnam are socialist friends and neighbors. Both countries are advancing the course of reform and transformation that suit their own national conditions, and strengthening solidarity and cooperation serves the shared interests of both sides. At the end of 2023, General Secretary and President Xi Jinping paid a historic visit to Vietnam, guiding our bilateral relations to open up a new chapter of a community with a shared future. Since last year, General Secretary Xi Jinping and General Secretary Tu Lan have maintained strategic communication. There have been close exchanges between various departments and localities and fruitful outcomes in cooperation in various fields between both sides, which delivers tangibly for the two peoples. This visit comes on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of our diplomatic ties, which presents a historic opportunity to build on what has been achieved and take the relationship into the next chapter. During the visit, General Secretary Xi Jinping will hold talks with General Secretary Tu Lan, meet with President Lou Chang, Prime Minister Pan Min-chong, and Chairman of the National Assembly Tran Ta-man. Taking this visit as an opportunity, we look forward to working with Vietnam to consolidate our traditional friendship as comrades and brothers, enhance strategic mutual trust, deepen practical cooperation, work for sustained and steady progress in the building of a community with a shared future, and make greater contributions to the building of a community with a shared future for the whole mankind. China and Malaysia are important developing countries and emerging economies in recent years. Under the strategic guidance of our leaders, the relationship between the two countries maintain high-level development. We have had frequent high-level interactions, continued to consolidate political mutual trust, achieve fruitful outcomes in practical cooperation, conduct various cultural and people-to-people exchanges, and engage in close and effective multilateral coordination, setting an example of mutual understanding and win-win cooperation between neighboring countries. In 2023, we announced the decision to build a China-Malaysia community with a shared future and open up a new chapter in our bilateral relations. This will be President Xi's first visit to Malaysia in 12 years, which marks an important milestone in promoting the upgrading of our bilateral relations. During the visit, President Xi will meet with Supreme Head King Sultan Ibrahim and hold talks with Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Through this visit, we hope to further step up political and security cooperation, have closer cultural exchanges and mutual learning, and better align our strategy of development, strengthen coordination on regional and international issues, move the bilateral relations towards the direction of building a high-level strategic China-Malaysia community with a shared future, and make new contributions to the strength through unity of the global South and peace and stability in the region. Cambodia is China's traditionally friendly neighbor and ironclad friend. Under the strategic guidance of President Xi and his Cambodian counterpart, the building of the China-Cambodia community with a shared future has entered a new era featuring high quality, high level, and high standard. In recent years, we have continued to deepen strategic mutual trust, enrich the Diamond Hexagon cooperation framework, make steady progress in the building of fish and rice corridor, achieve fruitful outcomes in cooperation across the board, and all this delivers tangibly for the two peoples. This will be President Xi's first visit to Cambodia in 9 years. He will meet with King Norodom Sihamoni and Queen Mother Moni Neth, respectively, met with President of Cambodian People's Party and President of the Senate Hun Sen, and hold talks with Prime Minister Hun Manet. The two sides will have discussions on upgrading bilateral relations and have in-depth exchange of views on political mutual trust, mutually beneficial cooperation, security, people-to-people exchanges, and strategic coordination. We believe President Xi's visit will give new elements to the bilateral relations and help our comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership to make more positive outcomes and bring more benefits to the two peoples. Next one, please.
谢发言人，东方卫视记者提问。那么我们关注的有报道提到，日本首相石破茂在4月9日会见访日的北约秘书长李克时表示，一个稳固的北约与日本有利，日本将为北约同印太伙伴深化合作继续发挥主导作用。双方在联合声明中还就东海、南海、台海局势等问题发表重要的建议。请问中方对此有何意见？
中方注意到有关情况。
We noted this.
中方对日本伙同北约无理干涉中国内政、渲染地区紧张局势、
Japan colluded with
挑
NATO
动
to
对立对
groundlessly
抗，
interfere in
表示
China's
强烈不
domestic affairs,
坚决
act
反对。
as scaremonger in the region, and provoke
亚太是
antagonism
合
and
作发展高
confrontation.
地，
China
不需
deplores
要
and
军事
opposes
制裁，
this.
也不
The
需要
Asia
大国
Pacific,
对抗
a stellar
和
example
鼓
of
动
peace and
新冷
development,
战的小圈
does
子。
not need military blocks,
北约是区
major
域
country
性、防
confrontation,
御性
or
的军事
groupings
组织，
that trumpet
不
a
应
new
突
Cold
破
War.
自身条约
As a
规
regional
定的
defensive
地理
organization,
范畴，
NATO
越
should
界
not
扩权。
reach beyond its geographic scope,
由于
lay
历史
down
原
its
因，
treaty, and
日本
step
的军事安
aside
全
its
动
zone.
向一直
Due
备
to
受
historical
亚洲邻
reasons,
国和国际
Japan's
社会
military
关注
and。security moves have been
今
closely
年
watched
是
by
中
its
国人
Asian
民抗日
neighbors
战争
and the
暨世
international
界反
community.
法西斯战
This
争
year
胜利
marks the
80周年。
80th anniversary of the
日
victory
本
in the
应
Chinese
深刻
People's
汲取
War of
历史教
resistance
训，
against the Japanese
坚
aggression
守亚
and
太
the
合作
war
正道，
and the world
为
anti-fascist
维护
war.
和促进本
Japan
地
should
区
learn from
与
history,
世
stay
界和
committed
平
to the
稳
path
定
of
及
Asia-Pacific
发展繁
cooperation
荣，
and play a
发挥
constructive role
建
in
设性作用，
upholding and promoting peace, stability, development, and
充当
prosperity
北
in
约
the region
亚
and
太化
beyond.
急先锋，
Spearheading
必将
NATO's
自食恶果。
extension into the Asia-Pacific will backfire.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from AFP. I'd like to ask about a report in the Financial Times.
法新社，我想请问一下，《金融时报》报道称，军委副主席何卫东被免职了，由于腐败问题。
Five sources familiar with the matter. Can the Chinese side confirm
中方能否证实？
何卫东 's removal? Thank you.
我不了解你所说的情况。
I'm not familiar with the matter you mentioned.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
您好，中国日报提问。据报道，有专家指出，美国同斐济
It's
等国
reported
签署
that
的随
experts
船观
point
察
out
员
that the
协议
U.S.
赋予了美
shipwriter
单方面
agreements
特权
with
是不
Fiji
平等条约
and other
为美
countries,
方在太平
which
洋
gave
岛国海域
the
任意
U.S.
检查
unilateral
货运船提
privilege
供了后门，
and
请问
provided
中方对此有何
backdoors
评论？
for the U.S. to check China's fishing vessels in
中方注意到
Pacific
美
and
国
in
同有
Pacific.
关
What is
太平
China's
洋岛国
comment?
签署的随船观察
China
员协议。
noted the shipwriter agreements signed
根
between
据
the
联合国
U.S.
海
and
洋法
related
公约，
Pacific Island
在
countries.
专属经
According
济
to
区
the
内
UNCLOS,
关于
in the
渔业事项
inclusive
的主权
economic
权利
zone,
和
the
相应
coastal
执法
state
权、
has the
管
sovereign
辖
rights,
权、
related
专
law
属于沿
enforcement
海。
rights, and jurisdiction on
美
the
方通
fishing
过随
issues.
船观察员协议，
Through the shipwriter
主导
agreements, the
甚至
U.S.
取代
dominates
沿
coastal
海
states'
国
law
开展执
enforcement
法，
and even
严重
deplays
损害了
these states
公
in the
约构建
process,
的
which severely undermine the maritime legal order established by UNCLOS. Despite the ostensible reciprocal expressions in the agreements, relevant Pacific Island countries have no capability at all to exercise the equal right over the U.S. So basically, it is an arrangement that benefits the U.S. unilaterally. China respects the sovereign rights and jurisdiction of coastal states in accordance with international law in its exclusive economic zone to fulfill its flag state obligations and strictly monitoring fishing and conduct cooperation on fishery maintenance and use on the basis of mutual benefit and equality. China opposes any country under the name of combating so-called illegal fishing to manipulate, to engage political manipulation, to interfere in other countries' affairs and drive a wedge among regional countries. Next one, please.
Thank you. Another question from AFP. Taiwanese prosecutors have said that they have charged a Chinese cargo ship captain for allegedly cutting an undersea telecommunications cable off Taiwan in February.
起诉一名中国大陆方面的船长于2月份的时候破坏了其海底电缆。
Destroying submarine cable-related facilities. Does China have a response to this development?
中方对此有何回应？
这不是一个外交问题。
This is not
我
a
要在这里
diplomatic
强调的
question.
是，台湾是
I'd
中
like
国
to
领土不可
stress
分割的一部分。
Taiwan is an
台湾问题
inedible
是
part
中国的内
of
政。
China's territory, and Taiwan question is China's internal affair.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
发言人你好，环球时报环球网记者提问：据美国媒体报道，中国官员在去年12月的中美网络安全对话中，向美方官员暗示，中方对美国关键基础设施发动了网络攻击，并将其归咎于美对台湾的支持。特朗普政府高官表示，美方将对中方采取更多的进攻性网络活动。中方对此有何看法？
这篇报道颠倒黑白，
will
是
adopt
与
more
事实严
offensive
重不
cyber
符
attacks
虚假
against
信息。
China. What is China's comment? This
关于
report
福特台风，
distorted facts,
中方
and
在
it
各
is
种场合
this
都明确
information
拒绝
severely at odds
美
with
方
facts.
毫无根据的无理
On
指
Vogue
责，
Typhoon, China has
向美
multiple
方
times,
介
on
绍了
multiple
中国
occasions,
网络安全机构的调查
reject
报
the
告，
U.S. unwarranted
指出
and
相
baseless
关事件
accusations,
是美
and
国情报
introduced
机
the
构
U.S.
对中国的栽赃
our
抹黑。
investigation of China's cybersecurity
中方在各
institutions,
种场
pointed
合
out
都
the
明确向美
incident
方表示，
is a smearing
中方
by
反对
U.S.
美国
intelligence
利
institutions
用网
against
络问题
China.
干涉中国内政。
China has on
美
multiple
方
occasions
排斥
made
法
clear to the
注
U.S.
定是妥。
China opposes the U.S. using
需要强调
cyber
的是，
issues to interfere in
中
China's
方以
internal
通过
affairs.
各种方式
U.S.
就美国
attempt
政
to
府
use
授权
Taiwan
美
to
国方面
contain
自行开
China
展对外
will
网络
be
攻击。
is doomed to fail.
美网络攻击
Let me
中
stress
国
that
关键基础
the
设施。
China
美台
has
网络军事合作等
expressed
问题，
severe concerns to the
明确向
U.S.
美
of
方
the
表
U.S.
达关
using
切，
various forms
要求美方采取负
on
责任
Trump
态度，
administration's
避免误判。
authorization of defense
中方将采
Secret
取一切
Defense
必要措施，
Ministry on
维护自身
cyber
的网络安
attacks
全
and。U.S. cyber attacks on China infrastructure and military and cyber cooperation between U.S. and Taiwan. We hope the U.S. will adopt a responsible attitude, avoid miscalculation, and China will take all necessary measures to safeguard its cybersecurity. Next one, please.
Thanks, AFP. The White House has confirmed now that many Chinese imports into the United States face cumulative tariffs of up to 145%. Does the Chinese
白宫已经确认，中国输美产品现在将面临150%的关税。你对此有何回应？
中方已多次阐述
China has made
在
clear
关税
multiple
问题上的
times
严正立
its
场。
severe position on
关
tariffs.
税战、贸易战，
Trade war,
没有赢家。
tariff war have no winners.
中方不愿打。
China does
但也
not
不怕
want
打。
to fight, but will not fear when they come our
我
way.
想强调，
Let me
如
stress,
果美方
if
真
the
的想通过
U.S.
对话
truly
谈判
wants
解
to
决问
address the
题，
issue through dialogue
就应
and
该停止
negotiation,
极限施
it
压，
should stop
不做绯闻。
exerting maximum pressure.
中国从来不吃这一
China
套，
never accepts that.
任何对话
Any
都必须
dialogue
建立在
must be based
平
on
等、 尊重、
equality,
互惠的基础上，
respect, and mutual benefit.
如果美方执意
If
打
the
关税
U.S.
战
is、
贸
determined
易
to
战，
fight a tariff
中
war
方
or trade
必将
war,
奉陪到底。
China's response will continue to the end.
中国是一个负责任
China
的
is a
国家，
responsible country.
我们对美国的霸凌行径
Our
采取反制
countermeasures
措
against the
施，
U.S. bullying
既是为了
acts
维护自身的正当
are
权益
to，safeguard our
也是为了
legitimate
维
rights
护
and interests
国际规则
and
和
to
秩序，
safeguard the
为了
international
维护世界各国
rules
的共
and
同利益，
order, the common
为了维
interests
护
of
国际
countries
正义。
around the world, and international fairness
面
and
对美
justice.
国的霸凌
In
霸道、
face of U.S.
妥协退让，
hegemonism and
没有
bullying,
出路。
concessions and backing down will lead nowhere.
下一个问题，
Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any other questions?
Thank you, AFP again. I'm just wondering if the Chinese side can give any updates on the visits by Prime Minister Sanchez, the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez in Beijing today. Thank you.
中方能否进一步发布西班牙首相桑切斯访华的消息？
请保持关注。
We will release information in due course. Please stay tuned.
下一个问题，
Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any other questions?
好，那今天的记者会
This
就到
is
这
the
里，
end of
谢谢大家。
today's press conference. Thank you.